Yeah, just give me all of the respect. I use your reverence as a reward. They know that I got the power and they looking at me like the source. Take my throne, boy, stop that. I'm on my hill, can't top that. You take this L, yeah, rock that. You know, I never needed a coach.
What it do, Knick Nation? What it do, Knick Nation? What it do? KOD Universe, stand up. And all you Degens, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Monday, December 26th episode of the Knicks Morning Brew, the day after Christmas. It's your guy, Hector, and I'm chilling with my boys, Phil and Jigga. Phil and Jigga, what it do?
What up, what up? Just chilling. Had a good Christmas with the fam in spite of our New York Knicks and the wonderful world of Knick fandom. So looking forward to connecting with you guys. And let's have fun today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jigga, what is good, bro?
Yo. What up, guys? I hope you both had a Merry Christmas. Outside of the 12 o'clock to 2:45 hour, my Christmas was really good, right? It was during that Knicks game. That was where things were a little, oh my gosh, what happened? That was the only gift I opened that had coal in it, right? So outside of that, I feel like I did all right. How was your day, bro? What were you up to?
It was good. For me, I celebrate Noche Buena, which is basically the night before. And on Christmas Day, it was good. I went to the casino. I won some, I lost some, I won some more, and I lost some. And then I ended my day with some chicken tendies and french fries, bro. So I think I had a very satisfied Christmas day.
Oh, yeah. What up, DSJ in the chat? And right away, we deserve better. Hashtag the crap out of it.
Yes.
Yo, we got our homegirl Charlotte from Let's Talk Knicks coming on today, which is a good day to have her, right? Because we got Twitter drama, right? We got to talk about the Twitter spaces and the fan base. And I got to ask her, bro, because I have a feeling we may have played a part in her doxing herself and creating an account where her face is out there. She said, well, I'm going to be on a screen. I might as well let the world see who I am. So we got that coming up, 11:20. But, man, I feel like we have so much to talk about. Heck, I know you I feel like the casino had you in a good state of mind yesterday, though.
Oh, it had me in a goodish state of mind. I was on the slots, and there was this dude that, because we was like right in front of the bar where they had the TV. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm gonna jump on these slots. The bar's right there. The game is right there. So I'm on the machines or whatever. There was a guy from Philly that was sitting at the bar that was the most obnoxious Philadelphia sports fan. I was about to take a page out of Bill Burr's book and just rip on the entire city of Philadelphia, but I had to hold myself back, bro.
Good call.
Good call. That's good.
Well, the kids look super happy on Christmas, man. Let me share this family moment real quick. Yeah. So the kids called me yesterday while Phil and his wife were cooking dinner, and I spent about a good 22 minutes like you're supposed to as an uncle. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that toy. Oh, it's so awesome. The part the kids don't realize is for those 22 minutes, they had the phone pointing to the ceiling and a light. I didn't see a single one of the toys that you showed me. I was like, oh my God, it's so cool. I'm like, what is that? They're like, Buzz Lightyear. I'm like, yeah. I had no ideas, bro. All visuals were gone.
You gotta love a child's POV on a phone. It's hilarious, especially when they decide to like take you for a tour throughout the house and the screen is just shaking back and forth. Go ahead, Phil.
No, it was good. The kids were amazing. And wifey set it up perfectly. We got up early, and then nap time was at jump ball. So the family went up to take a nap, which is good because it was a great time up till then. And I didn't want to be Mr. Scrooge in my house on Christmas Day. And so it was good, and it was perfect timing because I got a stocking stuffer from my wife, which was a little Glencairn whiskey glass with the Knicks logo on it. So I put some whiskey in it, which I needed for that game because that was, a little bit painful. And we just had a good time, So Christmas was good in spite of what we saw yesterday. I was able to detach my emotions from what happened and kind of still enjoy the day. So, which was good. But yeah,
I feel
we got
like
a lot
there
to
should be a
about.
law, bro. I feel like there should be like a rule, like us Knicks fans, like we should, especially like me as an older Knicks fan, right? Which my kids are older already, and I should reach out to young Knicks fans with young kids and be like, hey, bro, on Christmas Day, don't do it. Watch the game after Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Wait till the kids in bed. Don't ruin your holiday. Okay. Could you imagine if the Jets game would have been yesterday too? Oh my God, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be dead. I'd be just.
Well, just imagine, but it was a competitive game for the first 3 quarters, and in that fourth quarter, things just got out of whack and we lost everything. For me. And check this out. I'm leaving my building yesterday, right? I wanted to punch this kid in the face. I legit wanted to punch this kid in the face because I'm leaving.
Phil, make sure we cut this out.
Okay? Yeah. Cut this out. I'm leaving my building, right? I'm leaving my building. I opened the door for this young kid and his 2 friends. This little man had the nerves to say, teenage, high school, 11, 12, whatever. This little man had the nerves to say, thank you so much, sir, for opening the door. I was like, this man called me sir, bro. So we all still a kid at heart. I wanted to punch him in the mouth, sir. What do you mean, sir?
Oh man. Well, at least we just learned that Hector got a short fuse, bro. You call him sir, he ready to hit you, okay? How about DSJ? I got drunk and punched a caroling Santa in front of a neighborhood of kids, probably
nice
for life.
Nice. That's what we're talking about. That's what early childhood trauma at its finest, DSJ. Appreciate that.
Chris Flash in the chat too. What up, Chris the Flash?
I'm Chris the Flash.
Chris, I love your intros,
what it do,
bro.
baby.
Like,
I'm Chris the Flash.
Appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, we were just talking about Christmas, man. Hope you had a good one. G Money in the chat.
Yes.
Hope your Christmas was sweet like Christmas cookies. Oh, yo, my daughter made some banging Christmas cookies, bro. All right, coffee cake cookies.
Ooh,
with the crumbs on top. I was like, okay, yo, I'm telling you, and my kids are buying me.
Is it gluten free? Is it gluten free? Is it gluten free?
Listen, I don't ask those questions, so I don't judge the food before I bite it. You know what I mean? But I don't think in this house we ever learned how to spell gluten. Therefore, we don't worry about gluten.
No, I'm just saying, us 3 being from the Caribbean, being from Puerto Rico, gluten doesn't sit well with us, but we still eat it no matter what. We still eat it.
We eat everything we're not supposed to, But I know we want to keep avoiding the topic at hand here. It's so much easier to talk about Christmas. Oh, but how great was that game? The Cowboys-Eagles game. You see what I mean? Like, you knew I wasn't talking about
watching. Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. I'm not watching no damn Cowboys game.
Guys,
I'm upset because Jalen Hurts did get hurt, and I have him on my fantasy team. But let's stop. Let's stop. Yeah. Let's just come on. Let's just rip the scab off. Let's rip the scab off. The Knicks lost against the 76ers. I believe it was still in 6th place in the East, so that's okay. Our 8-game winning streak has quickly turned into a 3-game losing streak. With 2 of those games, we possibly could have won with the Chicago game and the Philadelphia 76ers game. But honestly, going forward, when we look at our team right now, right, and we look at this record, at the beginning of the season, December 26th, I'm happy with this record. I'm happy with our position in the standings. Yes, we could have won a few more games if we would have played better, but ultimately, I'm happy where the team is at right now. It was chaos to start the season. Everything worked its way out, and now we're sitting 3 to 4 games over 500 right now, 6 in the East.
Phil's holding back. Go ahead, Phil. Go talk about
it. Record-wise, yeah, I'm fine. Where we're at. However, these last few games have kind of said a lot to me. These last 3. The first is that when push comes to shove, we always have more of a chance to lose in the final minutes than we do to win. Like other teams thrive against us in games where it's that much of a crunch. And the fact that like we allowed that Chicago game to slip through our fingertips was just sad, very, very sad. And then this last game, the way that we played in the first half was so impressive and was so focused on team ball. And the fact that we result time and time again back to this ISO game bullcrap and this self-important, like one person, I need to dribble it down and shoot it rotation, like it's going to kill us. It's going to kill us down the stretch. Like, and as great as this 9-man rotation was, which with injuries has been more like a 8, and then someone gets like 3 minutes here, that is killing our players. Like, if we try to do this same thing in a playoff scenario, our guys are going to be exhausted. We don't even know the status of Jalen Brunson right now. And that is going to be huge for us. Like, if it is a reoccurring hip injury or anything even close to that, like, our season is going to have a very, very hard rest of the schedule, like, without Jalen Brunson. So I think, like, as great as it is that we have those, like we said in the last show, we are now getting to a point in the season where we are playing teams that actually have all their players. And it will tell a lot if our numbers were just because people were gone or because we've earned them. And so these last 2 games have showed that with their full rosters, they were able to play a full 4 quarters and we weren't. And that's worrisome for me. I will not take away the fact that, Grizzlies got spanked by Golden State last night, which is the same Golden State roster that we spanked. So we have to look at it like logically as well. But there are some very big like red flags that I'm starting to see from these last few games that have me worried.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Bulls one before, and to me, the Bulls one came down to that last 3 minutes of the game, right, where we were missing shots. I told you, go back, mute it, play it with circus music, and it fits perfectly. Literally, and you just watch. This game, you saw that it was pure our guys getting exhausted. They had no legs. They were tired as can be. And all I'm realizing right now is, okay, we had a stretch where we were able to test this 8-9 guy rotation to see what we had, obviously testing it without guys like Obi still not around, Cam not going to play at all, right? Cam's done. So, okay, hey, now we know what different guys can do, but we've also established that we need other pieces to make this work. Wait, I seen the Porto was out mobbing the Knicks content streets. What a blood of the Panther in the
Blood
house,
of the Panther,
bro.
what it do. Happy holidays, bro.
Let's see what DSJ. It's not just the losing that's a problem. It's the regular season non-factor role players having statement moments against the Knicks that bother me. We deserve better. It's the truth.
Yeah. Chicago.
We say it all the time.
Goran Dragic from Chicago that went off against us. And then
Spell
yesterday, I can't even spell this man's name from yesterday.
Exactly.
I can't even spell this man's name from yesterday. But Goran Dragic with the Bulls killed us. And then some random person I forgot his name, Saviz or whatever his name is.
Niang.
Niang.
Niang. Niang.
Oh, that's that
Niang.
cartoon the kids watch, right? Ni Hao, Ni Young. Is that?
It's the guy that disrespected Coach Tibbs in the postgame interview. And what he had to say, was
when he was like, I haven't seen that type of defense since college, and if you want to throw the drop defense, then just pass me the ball and I'm gonna shoot it. And that goes to say something. When we spoke about Tibbs and his defensive streams, first and foremost, I don't think it was defensive schemes or anything like that led us to losing yesterday. They didn't help out, but like Phil pointed out, our guys were tired. We are running an 8-man rotation, which means that somebody is constantly on the court. If not, 1 or 2 players are constantly on the court. So we're running an 8-man rotation. We need Obi to get back so we can make it a 9-man rotation. And this is what happens with Tom Thibodeau teams, right? During the regular season, you play hard. Not every team plays hard during the regular season, but when the playoffs come, every team plays hard in the playoffs, right? This is the same situation that happened to us 2 seasons ago when we was the 4th seed, right? During the regular season, every game we were playing hard, 8-9-man rotation. We was grinding out every quarter, every possession, everything was good. And once we got to the playoffs, what happened? We got exposed by Trae Young and that little mop head he has on his head, right? We got exposed in the playoffs, and it's the same constant situation with Tibbs. You tire your guys out during the regular season, and when the playoffs come, everybody's competing at 150%, and your guys are exhausted.
Yeah, there's no way you can survive a whole season doing it the way we're doing. Listen, we all said it, and even Blood of the Panther in the chat. What I love about the fan base that we have, which is starting to like really, commit to us here on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we're all kind of still on that page of, it was great to win 8 in a row. But doesn't mean we're moving off from the Tibbs needs to go, right? We understand that conversation. I'm still gonna be on that train. Okay, that's fine. And again, I'm also gonna give credit when we are playing defense. You got to give credit to Tibbs because supposedly that's where the defense comes from. But the problem is, we say it all the time. And chat, I know when we're all talking, we're at the point where we need to pick one, guys, to put the blame on. Is it going to be we don't have a star? Is it going to be we need to fire Tibbs? We need to start with Leon Rose? Those conversations are always going to be a possibility for us when we're playing the way we're playing and when we lose games. And it's going to get more and more toxic. You guys know it. We keep losing Twitter. I love how Twitter starts to show its true colors, right? You've got to smile for 8 games, and then all of a sudden it's
Jesus
right
Christ.
back to normal.
Twitter is a cesspool, bro. It is a cesspool. It is literally like one of the worst places on earth that you could be at. But no, like you said, we give credit where credit is due, right? When on the 8-game winning streak, the defense was looking sharp, right? Everything was good. You could point back to when Quentin Grimes got injured and we missed him in that game that we lost, that we should have won. And then you had the following game against the Chicago Bulls, and now you got a game against the 76ers, a team that you are chasing. So we have to ask ourselves, which team is the real Knick team? Is it the team that went on an 8-game winning streak, or is it the team that fumbled in the 4th quarter against the 76ers?
You know what? Don't even answer that question yet. Don't even answer that question, Phil. Wow. I'm gonna throw the question. I'm gonna have you ask it again. But we got our guest backstage.
Got my words.
Let's bring the lady herself from Let's Talk Knicks. What up, Charlotte?
Charlotte, what it do?
What up, Charlotte?
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
11 a.m., but kind of early.
Yeah, she messaged yesterday. She's like, wait, what time? I was like, 11. She's like, oh, nice and early. I was like, 11:20 for you. How about that? Right?
Yeah. Hey, I'm on 3 minutes early, so I'll take it.
Look at that.
Nice.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
A good whole extra 180 seconds. Go ahead, Phil.
So for anyone who doesn't know who Charlotte is, in the land of Knicks Twitter, where there is craziness on any given day, there is a young lady who has kind of taken over a lot of spaces to bring kind of a non-biased opinion with facts and kind of giving people from all sides kind of a platform to share their piece. And so recently on Knicks Twitter, Charlotte, I don't know if you've ever seen one of my favorite movies. It's called Green Street Hooligans. Okay. So, all right. If you guys haven't seen it, it's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. And it's based overseas. No, bro, seriously, one of the greatest movies ever. Homeboy from Sons of Anarchy. That's where he got his start. So it's based overseas, and it's all about like these football firms or soccer, but you can't say soccer because you're overseas. And they have these things called firms because they're diehard fans out there. So they go to games as these firms that are kind of like gangs. And to defend their team, they fight the other firms from the other teams before and after the games. You don't want to get caught slipping. It's actually something that has happened overseas, and you could research it. So it's based on like the actual firm culture out there. And the cool thing about these firms is they have each other's back no matter what. Like there's tons of differences in the people in the firms, but it doesn't matter. When they go out there, they represent that team and they fight to the death at times for this team. And so as an older Knick fan, Like, that's kind of how Knick fandom used to be, where it was like, we are all Knicks fans. It doesn't really matter your age, your race, your gender. Doesn't really matter. I used to go to airports and someone would see a Knick hat and we would instantly be friends. Like, we would just sit, be talking, hanging out at the grocery store. Like, let me exchange numbers. Now, it is like we have firms within our firm, and we are beating the hell out of each other in these Twitter spaces to the point that I've kind of like bowed out the last few weeks because I'm just like, I haven't been in middle school in a long time. I don't want to fight like a middle schooler right now. So you've been kind of a piece in trying to navigate through that. So how do you feel about this whole land of Twitter fandom?
It's a really tough question. I have never watched that movie, but I'm sure I should probably.
I guess we all should at this point, right?
Yes, there are different sides of Knicks Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday on Twitter. It was a little bit of a mess. Sides were like getting at each other, just like about random stuff. And I logged into Twitter. I'm like, what is going on? And everyone's like, I just logged on. I have no idea. And I think with our fandom, what problems happen is like, there's one side that's like so pro, like, tanking and getting rid of all the vets and like just get rid of everything and start fresh and fire the coach, fire the president, fire GM. And then there's a side which I'm on of we have pieces, now let's build around them and let's build off that. We have like the tank crew, and we have the side where I'm on, where all my post games are of we have Julius Randle. Maybe he's not playing the best in past years, but let's build around him. We have RJ Barrett, who has been inconsistent, yes, but is still so young and still confused. We have a coach that maybe not everyone loves, but just led us to a winning series of multiple games. Our GM, he has made some great trades. We got Derrick Rose for a second-round pick and Kevin Knox. We got Cam Reddish for a protected Charlotte first. I don't want to – the Knicks don't tank. And this is what I'm trying to get people to understand on Twitter, and they just don't. A lot of – also it's about attention and likes and just – I don't even know, like likes and viewership and like laughs. And some people just don't take it seriously, and I do because it's my – like Let's Talk Knicks is like my entire world right now. But like it's really disappointing to see we have two sides. Like you guys will see like on post games, like – there are two different post games. Like there's not one. My dream is to have just one where we can all just talk together.
Yeah, you know what? I love that you said that, Charlotte, because it was actually one of the questions I was going to talk to you about is the fact that, like there's so many different fans, right, in this fan base. There's so many different content creators in this where it makes it kind of crazy. Like for us, we literally I'll share it with everybody. We literally will text each other and be like, all right, guys, there's like 16 different Twitter spaces, divide and conquer. And that's why you'll see I'll be over there with you guys and yours. We'll hang out and it'll be an hour later. And then Phil's like, all right, tap out. He'll jump into you guys. And then I'll go see what's going on with Cash and them. And it's like, man, that's a perfect example of imagine if we took the 150 plus that are in yours, the 100 plus in the other one, and we all came together. I think the problem is, there's such a difference that it just maybe they'll just be too much headbutting.
The problem is I can never align myself with like the tanking. It's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like it's just not. Like fire Thibodeau is not happening. We're keeping Julius Randle past this trade deadline. You need to accept it and move on. Your take is really old. Mm-hmm. That's what I have to say to them. Like it's ridiculous how much even just BS that goes on their spaces. Like people, like they've made fun of me. Like I have clips. It's just ridiculous. Honestly, like I get sent clips of them all day, every day. I think I have like 5 DMs from their space yesterday of people like, oh, like, what do you think of this? Like they're off their rocker. Like it just happens. Like, I don't know. We'll never have one big space. I wish we did. But it will never happen.
Yeah, for me, you see Jiggaman, he didn't mention me in the Knicks space because it's too bad for my anxiety, right? When all that chaos and all that madness is going on, my anxiety makes me tap out my social battery runs out of energy.
I don't mean to laugh.
I legit no, but it's
but
true,
it's Hector.
bro.
Literally, people will flip out, and all of a sudden you hear that one person that comes up and starts talking crazy. Hector's like, "I'm out."
It's true. I can't. And then when you get to the ad hominem attacks, when you start personally attacking someone because they don't agree with you, that's why when Phil, myself, and Jiggaman, we decided to put this show together. One of the first rules that I had from the beginning was this is not going to be a debate show. I do not want to debate, bro. I am not going to deal with the debateness. Right. And a lot of people, the fake debate bros.
It also turns personal.
Yeah,
like people
for
will
no reason.
Stuff from you, like now there's a search button on like so when you go into anyone's Twitter profile, you can search anything. You type in keyword, I don't know, let's say Julius Randle, and if you were defending him 2 years ago, then it means you're also defending him this year.
Well, you know what? We actually said this the other day, right? What's today, guys? Monday? I'm so lost. On Friday's episode, which I made it very clear. If you're going to watch this show and you're somebody that had an opinion 3 months ago that changed today, then you're at the right place. You're allowed to change your opinion on things. It's freaking life. It's your freaking team. Okay? The same, and I don't understand why people think it's like, oh, he hated Julius Randle 3 months ago. Now he loves him. That's not allowed. As a fan, you're supposed to adjust the way your team adjusts.
They don't. They just don't, guys. That's not.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like also my rule for my spaces is like you're not disrespectful to anyone. You just you will get kicked off. I had someone like the other day like was rude to like a Raptors fan, and like now he's not been coming to the last couple spaces because I told him like you can't do that. I think also like I don't discriminate based on gender, and which a lot of people on Twitter do for me, especially like I'm probably the only I know there are other voices from females, but like I would say I'm the most prominent. Yes, Delana, I agree with you. They keep receipts. It's discriminating me against my gender. That's where I draw the line. So
because for some reason men, they're getting a little fifis whenever they hear perspective from a woman, because this medium, right, this space that we are in, it is dominated mostly by a bunch of sweaty ass men that don't even put deodorant on, right? Like that's just the truth. So it's good to see when you have yourself, when you have the Queen's Court, when you have other women content creators coming out and giving their say on the matter, because all aspects is valid, right? Yeah. Whether you're someone who's a Julius Randle fan, whether you're somebody who's an RJ Barrett fan, it shouldn't stop, or it shouldn't be any barriers in front of somebody because they're from the opposite gender. It just, to me, makes no sense.
100%.
Yeah. And here's the crazy thing, and then we'll start kind of hop off Knicks Twitter and talk about like what you're trying to do and your opinions on the season.
Yes.
But the crazy thing is, in this group right here, we have 4 people who most likely have different opinions. Me, I've accepted the fact that we're probably not going to trade Randle. That doesn't mean I am not dying to trade Randle. As soon as you said we need to build around Randle, I didn't go, Charlotte's gone. Like, you're still here. Like, you are still
touching anything. I don't even know. Where'd I go?
I didn't exclude you. Your opinion is still valid. Your opinion is still important. And that's what I think we have to realize as Knicks fans, is that we can disagree like adults. And so there's one thing that, like, Jigga was talking about how we wish the groups can come together, and everyone's saying, well, we can't because there's such stark differences. But what I've always noticed is in anything that actually makes you sharper at what you do, there's always that statement like iron sharpens iron. And people like to say that, but there's no real understanding of what that is. The whole reason is because you're dull in certain areas, and you need another dull knife to start chipping those things away so that you can be sharper. And then it makes you both sharper in the end, where you were both dull in separate areas.
Nice.
And so Knicks fans,
it's so like,
as Knicks fans, we can do that. We can sharpen each other by just shutting up and kind of listening to someone else's take and being like, maybe I can take something, if not everything. I don't agree with everything, but there was that small point. Like me and Nickinator this morning were talking about some things, on Twitter, and I made a comment, and Nickinator was like, man, That's fair. I never thought of it that way. That makes total sense. Being able to say, okay, I don't agree with everything, but there's something there. That's kind of like how respectful Knicks Twitter could look if it ever went that route.
It's so frustrating. Like, I'll open a post-game space, I'll have like 110 people, and they'll have like, I don't know, 50. I don't know. It's just so frustrating. Like, I wish, like, that's 160 people there that were just diverging. So I don't know. But like, also it gets like, when like the burners come at you and are like, you're just a female. Like, why are you on Knicks Twitter? You don't belong here. Like, what are you talking about? Females can't talk sport. And I know it's like, it's crazy. Like, it gets, Knicks Twitter is no joke. Like, there's been plenty of people that like came to me and like, I don't know how you do this with them. I don't know how you keep up. Like, I'm going to have a post game every single game, like, for the rest of the season. And like, yeah, there's been some disrespectful stuff spoken to the Let's Talk Knicks DMs, but have I let it slow me down? No.
No, and you shouldn't let it slow you down, because we live in a misogynistic world, right? And I'm be the first one to admit that, right? So especially when you have places that are heavily populated by men, especially in the sports arena or whatever, if you're not someone that is from the status quo of what a normal fan is supposed to be at, you're going to be look like a weirdo with like orange and green and blue skin or whatever, right? That's just the basis. It sucks that that's the world that we live in, but as I'm gonna speak for myself, I can't speak for Jiggaman and Phil, but whenever, I put this to the chat, whenever misogyny presents itself, be the first person to stand up against it.
100%.
Right? Point blank.
Plenty of people on Twitter that have stood up and like, we're like, come on, like, that's rude, like, you can't be doing that. And then they got, like, the person who said it got a little attacked, but the people who I'd love to like actually understand never put out clips, never put out like any ads, like, never do that. But I don't know. Let's talk basketball.
Well, so let's do this real quick, guys. So one, I'm just gonna say it for what it is. For those people out there that do make comments about the fact that you are a woman in sports, that's crazy. I can sit here and say I've been blessed over the last year to work with women like Claudia Bellafato, Annie Agar, Cynthia Freeland. Like, these are women that can put most men to shame when it comes to sports analysts. So don't ever let that deter you. But I do want to jump into the fact of, I know where Let's Talk Knicks stands on a lot of stuff. I'm always in the spaces. I love, the content you guys put out there. But let's dig into Knicks talk now. All right, let's get into it, because I love what you do and I love what you're putting out there. But I really do want your take, and I want to start with us in the chat. Let's talk about how we're really feeling about this so-called 8-9. Let's be real, it seems more like a 7-man rotation. And I want to get your takes on it, Charlotte, and where you see it's benefiting us, and also where you see it's hurting us, and where do you think it's favored more? Is it towards helping or hurting?
It's so hard to say, because we just came off a winning streak, but now we're on a 3-game losing streak. But the guys are tired. They are so tired. I think where we're loving it is that the kids like Deuce and Jericho are getting minutes and finally seeing real NBA time, even though Deuce only got 6 minutes. But I heard it's not working. It's just not working out. He is not the player that was advertised to me personally, that like he can shoot threes, he can spread the floor, because right now there's Isaiah.
Shake his head a little bit.
The NBA is a make or miss league, and we need a center that can space the floor, and that's what I thought Isaiah would do for us, and it's just not working out right now. I don't love the 9-man rotation, because there's a reason it's not run in the NBA. It doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work, because the guys are tired. You
nailed it, Pudge.
You nailed it, Pudge. That's why I love you, my guy.
I trash. It's like that take foul on Harden yesterday was terrible. Just let him have the foul. Just let him take the layup. I don't care, because now you got a technical and a ball. So like, that's already, you could get 4 points right there. Not even a foul on a 3. You could get 4 points just off that play if you really think about it. The problem I'm having with the 9-man rotation is I'm not agreeing with Cam Reddish not playing. I understand a lot of people on Twitter are like, oh, he doesn't want to get hurt because he's going to get traded. Have you talked to Cam? Right. Have you talked to his agent? Have you talked to Leon Rose? Have you sat with him? No, you haven't. Neither have I. but you can't make assumptions like that. I think the 9-man rotation, yes, it's great. Miles and Jericho are getting minutes, but at the same time, the guys are tired. You need more guys. I want the 10-man rotation, but the problem is I don't want Evan playing. Jokic, that was one of the worst. When Reggie Miller said that, and I tweeted it on the Let's Talk Knicks account, like, he called him Jokic of the East.
Charlotte, we literally started the I Heart fan club for that one day. It lasted a total of 12 hours because we played the next night, and that was it. We all
I don't like the rotation because A, I think the guys are tired. B, we need more players to be subbing in. Also, we are missing Obi Toppin, so that does affect the rotation because now when he comes in, what, are you going to get rid of Jericho, who's been playing crazy good, in my opinion, has been not backing down from James Harden, Joel Embiid, guarding some of the best players in the league, 2 future Hall of Famers, and it's just crazy because now I think Jalen Brunson, we were talking about this yesterday, is going to be out for at least 2 weeks. I really do. Hip injuries are no joke, and he was grabbing at it, and I know he came back after the game and, like, kind of shook hands and was like, good game, but he's going to be out, I think. And also, I think the 9-man rotation, the biggest problem with it is Thibodeau doesn't know how to manage it right now.
There it is. That's where I want to see if you got there too, Charlotte. We can call it the 30-man rotation. You could call it he can call it the Tibbs factor. It doesn't matter. You're just putting a name on it. You're still not utilizing it the right way.
It's not working.
Do you guys feel like these last 3 games, like most times when you're in a 3-game losing streak, you start to like, oh, the world is over. I don't feel that way after these 3. I don't. I still feel like I'm sitting here with the same questions. Like, you don't know how to run a rotation. We still needed other pieces. We've got guys that are being wasted on the bench. It's not a special rotation. It's called I'm literally just throwing anything I can and hope it works.
Yeah.
And now for 3 games in a row, it's not.
It really has been.
We're missing bench scoring. That's our biggest priority right now. Whether that's at the deadline, getting a Kelly Oubre or getting a Kyle Kuzma or getting a Sadiq Bey or getting a Naz Reid.
But why can't we just say things like, and I agree with you on that, Charlotte, but why can't we say, I'm also on the train of why can't we see things like, hey, Deuce, stop being scared to shoot. Let's start there.
Well,
let's start there. Hey, bro, take a shot. Take a shot.
But a big thing that Charlotte mentioned, and I'll throw it to Phil right after what I'm about to say, but a big thing that Charlotte mentioned, what we're missing is not having Obi Toppin to spread the floor, right? A big reason why our second bench, our second unit was so good is that our second unit was running the floor, right? Our second unit from the first half of that winning streak before Obi got hurt was running the floor. And you're able to run the floor when you have ball handlers in every position. So when you have Obi on the floor, you have guys from your 1 to your 4 position that can handle the ball. But then with Obi Toppin off the floor, you just have Isaiah Hartenstein and Jericho Sims who aren't ball handlers. So it kind of slows down the second unit, right? And when it comes to Obi Toppin, he helps stretch out the floor more than anyone else on this team. Right. If you want to talk about a big man who could stretch the floor out, it's Obi Toppin because Isaiah Hartenstein, to Charlotte's credit, is not doing it. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, it's very disappointing, what we've seen these last few games, we talked about it last time. As Knicks fans, it's a hard pill for us to swallow to know that Cam Reddish will probably never see another New York Knicks minute. Like, it's a hard pill to swallow. But the way you're looking at it, like, if I have a disease and I know the medicine's in the cabinet and I say I want healing, I really don't want healing if I'm not willing to grab it. We were willing to give up a 9-game winning streak, and not put Cam in. Like, that should say something, if we're willing to go, hey, we have the resource we need right here to stay in this game. We're going to leave him on the bench. Then there's something more going on there. And it's breaking.
Can I ask you a question?
Tibbs don't like him.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's easy for us to sit here and say, oh, we know we have the piece on the bench? I mean, granted, because we know Cam's sitting there, but do we really know that we have the piece on the bench? I think it's easy for us to say that because we know he's not being played, right? Yeah. So it's easy for us to sit there and then you get that Cam hive that goes bananas, right? To me, it's still the same question. Like, to me, it's the same question with everybody on the squad.
Yeah. And no, it's not a guaranteed, but it's one of those things that, like, I don't care who it is. Like if we see that our players are exhausted and they're having a hard time even getting back and forth down the court, and we have healthy legs with a giant wingspan, and we're like, man, if we just had healthy legs and a giant wingspan, we might be able to do something in this fourth quarter. And we go, man, if only we had that. And then we just walk right past them, like he may not be that piece, but he's a piece that could have done something, So anyway, but besides that, like what's frustrating in this whole thing is that when you look at, this 9-man rotation, it doesn't leave any room for anything to go wrong. As soon as Mitch had that little groin injury, we were short. We were short on who we could bring in. We were short on what could happen. When Grimes was, like sitting out, if Jalen's gone for 2 weeks, what are we going to do there? Like, okay, are we going to throw Derrick Rose back in the rotation, who's only seen like 4 minutes in the last like 6 games? Like, is that really going to be a solution for us? And so there's a lot of like what ifs. And I think that's the hardest part of being a Knicks fan is like, we don't really get any answers to questions. So we're always all asking, what could be? What could be? Oh, Thibodeau just talked about how great Tobias Harris is. Now how many news people are going, Knicks are going for Tobias Harris now. Like every single game that we lose somebody, if anyone from our staff said they played a good game, the Knicks are apparently selling the ship to get that player. Like that's how weird it is, with no clarity in Knick world.
We got DSJ just checked in for the panel. What up, DSJ?
What's going on? Salute to everybody in the chat. Happy holidays.
Salute.
We deserve
All right, bro,
better.
drop it on them, DSJ. What you got today?
So this 8-game winning streak, right? I coined the phrase conditional win for that reason, because every time there was a win that was attached to the Knicks, I always said, well, it came with a condition. The Atlanta Hawks, we beat them in a blowout, but they lose Dejounte Murray in the first quarter, in the first 4 minutes. Conditional win. We beat the Golden State Warriors. There's no Steph Curry. Conditional win. It's those type of things that actually
You're a hater. You're a hater, bro.
DSJ, hold on, bro.
DSJ,
I don't cut people off just to cut them off. But I got 2 timeout hand signals by Charlotte and Phil, and you just started your take. So hold tight, Charlotte. Let's start with you. What was the timeout? Give it to him.
Well, the Warriors, I understand they got beat by the Nets and the Knicks pretty bad, but also they just beat a really solid Grizzlies team on Christmas Day. The Grizzlies were so hyped before the game. They're posting videos, dancing to music, so cocky about the game that was coming up. Klay Thompson taunting Dillon Brooks on the floor. The Warriors, they were struggling, but they just got Dante DiVincenzo back. They're good. They're good. Yeah. And once they get Steph, they're going to raise up the rankings and the standings. I wouldn't beat down on the Warriors too much. They are look, if the Knicks lose Jalen Brunson, they're not going to be the same team. When you lose one of your key players, you can't say they're bad. I don't know. The Grizzlies they're too cocky.
Yeah.
Charlotte, that's exactly my point. Yeah, that was exactly my point. Every time that they talked about the win, I said that there was a condition attached to it. So the fact that you were missing a key component in Steph Curry, you can't just say that, oh yeah, we beat the Warriors. Consider the fact that you beat the Warriors, but you beat them without Stephen Curry.
Well, yeah.
So that's why I said the conditional wins.
I think Charlotte's point was, let's not talk about conditional wins, because that same team that we spanked beat a Memphis team at their full strength last night.
Yeah, who everybody said is the favorite to be in the finals.
Yes.
Yeah, and so yes, they're a better team with Steph, but they're still a winning pedigree team even without Steph. They're still a winning team. Those players have been and have gotten the chip. They know what it's like to play playoff basketball. And so one thing that I think we always have to be careful of is any given day we can be without, a certain player. Any other day, another team can be without a certain player. We don't want to discredit our wins, but we also don't want to be delusional and be like, oh, we're the greatest team because we beat all these teams that didn't have stars. We could still say, hey, we spanked them. There's a difference between winning by 1 and being like, oh, if Steph was there, we definitely probably would have taken an L. We only won by 1 at a buzzer beater. But it wasn't a 1-point win, It was a substantial kicking to the head, And so we got to look at it that way and not just discredit ourselves, because I feel like swinging the pendulum can be the same as the people that are so delusional that they think that the Knicks are unbeatable. Like there has to be that fine line of giving ourselves credit, but also not overstepping.
Yeah, and
I agree with that. I agree with that, Phil.
To piggyback off of Phil, and I'll throw it over to DSJ before we bring over G Money. To piggyback over Phil is the same argument could be made for the Knicks. We beat them without Obi Toppin. Now, I understand Obi Toppin and Steph Curry is a different pedigree. It's a different level when it comes to the player, but we still beat them without one of our key rotation pieces. So it's very easy for us to say that. And when it comes to the game against the Warriors, we blew them out. Like we blew them out to the point that we have Ron Arcidiacono on the court in the fourth quarter. We had that Ukrainian kid that I can't even try to pronounce his last name because I don't want to butcher it. What is it?
It's V. Mikhailuk.
Yeah, there you go. Five. There you go. Thank you, Shaun. Thank you. Nice little nickname for him. Nice little nickname.
But you know what? DSG, go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, with that being said, is yes, we have to win the games that we're supposed to win, even when teams that are supposed to be top in their division or top in their conference are missing certain players. You got to take a win when you got to take a win, because I guarantee you, if it comes down to us just being outside of the playoffs and we made it into the playoffs just from that one win counts a hell of a lot more than missing the playoffs.
No, absolutely.
DSJ, I'm gonna join you, DSJ. Ready?
You go ahead.
I kind of like your title of conditional wins. And I see Charlotte shaking her head already. Phil gave me the stank face. Here's why. I say it on every single win we have, not just the 8-game winning streak. Hold on, Charlotte. Leave it there, because I'm going to get you. I think I might get it to slightly turn as you hear my reasoning, all right? We don't have enough guys on our team. We got guys that are sitting on the bench that aren't playing. Everything right now to me is a conditional win. It's all conditions. We're finding out that we've got guys that are good and who we can get rid of. Put them around, Charlotte. What are you talking about? She's like, no, they're not conditional. All right. Go ahead, DSJ.
Charlotte, I wish you had the thumbs down for the front office for signing people like Evan Fournier that we can't even get rid of without having to attach another piece to it. Those are the things.
Oh, I got both thumbs down.
Salute. G Money.
What it do? Go ahead, Charlotte. Finish your take.
Finish your take.
You don't need to attach a first-round pick to trade Evan Fournier. Oh my God, you don't. Promise.
He's an expiring contract, which is just as valuable as a draft pick.
He has a team option. Right?
No, he's not. We got another year of him under contract before we.
No, it's a team option.
After the season, yeah.
You could trade for him, and if you don't like him, you can
just cut him in the offseason.
Yeah. He's a great shooter, but you need to. The thing with Evan Fournier, you need defenders around him, like solid defenders. You need to be one of the best defensive teams in the league for Evan Fournier to be successful, because his defense is just not there.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
100%. G Money, what it do? G Money, how was your holidays, baby?
My holidays was popping. Salute, DSJ, Phil, Charlotte. Nice to meet you. Salute, Jigga. Salute everyone in the chat. My man, Xmas was popping. Everything was popping.
What's your thoughts on this conversation, real quick?
I look at both sides here. You do beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And again, I'm not taking anything away from the Knicks. You beat who's in front of you. They earned their wins. However, like what DSJ said, we can't just ignore. You gotta use context sometimes. All right. Yes, I know the Warriors beat the Grizzlies without Steph Curry and Wiggins. That was a great win from them. Consider the fact that they didn't have Donte DiVincenzo and JaMychal Green against us. They were there last night. So you got to consider that, though. So you can't really say it was the same Warriors team that blew out the grid that we beat. No, it was not. They didn't have Donte DiVincenzo against us. They didn't have JaMychal Green against us. So consider that. Also the fact that, there's three. Also the fact that, again, a win is a win. I'm not taking anything away from this team, but I can't just ignore what I see. The Kings didn't have De'Aaron Fox. That matters. They didn't have a key all-star in that team. Salute Stephen Fox. Consider the fact that the Cavs didn't have Jared Allen and Dean Wade, who were killing us the first time, a rebounder and a guy in Wade that can shoot threes. Again, I give the team credit, but I got to be honest. Against the Hawks, didn't have Dejounte Murray when he got hurt the first minute. DeAndre Hunter and who else? And John Collins, key players for that team. I give us credit, but look at the last 3 games. We played against a crappy Bulls team, and you couldn't get it done against a crappy Bulls team that was struggling. You lost to a Raptors team that was on a 6-game slide, by the way, and we're 3-12 on the road. That's just embarrassing. The Philly loss, I'm not too mad about the Sixers loss because we did fight, but I can understand why people are upset. I mean, Randall had a great first half. I mean, Brunson had a great third quarter. But the issue was James Harden, man, it was a Harden heist in MSG, though. He 4-point play, hitting threes. Niang was bombing trifectas like he was hotter than a chimney, no pun intended. And also the fact that, Joel Embiid was a man amongst boys. I give the Knicks credit during this 8-game streak. They earned it at the time. I give them credit, but we got to use context a little bit how we got that streak. And also the fact that the last 3 games, we should have won at least 2 of them. The Raptors Bulls games were unacceptable losses. Yes, you cannot change what happened, but those losses are unacceptable. I'm sorry.
But the Raptors game we lost because we didn't have Quentin Grimes, who's our best perimeter defender.
I mean, I understand that, but the Raptors didn't have Gary Trent, so it goes both ways. And the Raptors didn't have Gary Trent. Gary Trent is a defensive whiz like Quentin Grimes. He's a good but he's a good on-ball defender. But even but Grimes played the last 2 games, so it kind of goes. So I love Quentin Grimes. I love me some Grimes, but he played the last 2 games we lost. So to me, it doesn't matter. So when I'm saying it doesn't matter because he played the last 2 games.
No. But what I'm saying with G Money, and this is why I hate getting in like to the debate sphere of things or whatever, going back and forth, and we're gonna move it on. But what I'm saying is, if you want to point out that we beat teams without their best scorers or their best defenders, how is it that we can't point out we lost against the Raptors without our best perimeter defender?
But you still had look, I'm not downgrading Quentin Grimes. I love Grimes, but even Grimes play, does he stop Pascal Siakam? We don't know. So
yeah. All right. So
it was a conditional loss.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna transition to get some more time with Charlotte and her takes. But here's the thing that I want Knicks fans to be weary of. Okay, so many times Knicks fans are so quick to find reasons to downplay why we won something, and you more so will pay attention to the fact that a team was missing something than being able to remember the highlights of what we actually saw and the good points of what we saw about our team. So many Knicks fans can tell me who wasn't part of their roster, but they can't tell me the greatest thing that our team did in that game because they're so focused on what was missing. And what Heck just said, no other team is focusing on when a Knick player is not there or when so-and-so is not there. A lot that is a very rare thing for a fan base to justify to themselves why their team won. These other teams aren't going, oh, snap, so-and-so wasn't there. That's the only reason we won. They're able to say, but our team did this. Our team did this. This is why we won that game. And I used to play ball when I was younger, and we never would look at the roster and be like, oh, who's missing from them? We could probably take this game. It was, we're going out there, we're going to ball the best of our ability, and we're going to try to get the W. So that's what I think we have to do as a Knicks fan base.
If I can, and I'll throw it to Charlotte right after this, but Jay Boogie in the chat said it perfectly. This is not the NCAA tournament where you make it into the tournament based off the quality of wins. The NBA doesn't rank wins to make the playoffs. You just must win games. If you can beat them, then just beat them. And Jay Boogie said it perfectly. And I'll throw it over to Charlotte because we got a question in the chat from Stephen Fox. But he says, Charlotte, do you think the Knicks will make a trade or trades by the deadline? And if so, what do you think?
Right now?
Yeah. Go ahead, Charlotte.
Yes, they will make a trade. That's inevitable. With this office, what I've noticed is they make trades early in the deadline to set the market price. So I would expect a trade. Looking right now, mid-January, I would say. Expect like a move. I'd expect to move off Cam Reddish by mid-January because he's just sitting on the bench. He's not doing anything for us. It's a little trickier to guard to get off Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish. But the also thing you got to remember is when teams are trading for our type of players, we need to be also buyers at the same time. We are sellers, but we also need to be buyers and get a bench piece. I understand Obi Toppin's missing right now. Jalen Brunson might go down. I don't know who our starting point guard is going to be. Probably Derrick Rose, knowing Thibodeau, but we need bench scoring. So I would say look for Cam Reddish to be off this team, and Evan Fournier. They're going to look at scenarios, but as Ian Begley reported yesterday, they're looking at Tobias Harris. I think they're going to make a trade with a player we're not speaking about. No one is. I don't even know this player, but like a player that nobody like. Who would have thought that the Knicks, like, if someone told me, like, right now that in January the Knicks are going to trade Tobias Harris for, like, Cam Reddish, Evan Fournier, and 1 first-round pick, I'm going to – oh, Hector, are you trying to get in on that conversation?
Oh, no. I was just shouting out Jacob in the chat. We said, what up, Jacob? What it do?
No, but I would expect a trade by mid-January. Look for Cam Reddish to get off and look for them to get a bench piece.
Yeah. So, Charlotte, my question for you, if you were the front office, okay, like you personally, like forget rumors, this, that, whatever, with all of those that are going out there, what is the one player out of all these that are rumored that you personally would like to see in a blue and orange? Because we all kind of have our preference, like the front office is going to do whatever the heck the front office is going to do. And no matter what magazine you read, every week it's different, apparently, what the Knicks are going to do. But if you personally, out of all these like shenanigans that you hear about, like what is the player that you personally would want to go after?
The thing is with the Knicks is like I know what every player I'm about to say, it's probably not going to happen because Knicks make trade that no one expects. But I don't know. I have to think. I like Kyle Kuzma. I do. I don't think it's happening. Honestly, I've been thinking about it for days. I would like the Knicks to go get Kristaps Porzingis because I'd love to see that storyline. Don't think it happens though. Don't take anything I say that it's going to happen.
That would be very Nick. That would be very Nickish. That would be very Nickish for them to go and trade for KP again. But yeah, go ahead, Charlotte.
Yeah. I don't know what you do because then you can't start because then either Randall or Robinson is out of the lineup, and I don't really love like that chemistry is going to be broken if one of them's on the starting lineup. So that's a whole different problem. But I think also. I don't know. I like Saddiq Bey a lot. People on Twitter hear me a lot talk about Saddiq Bey. Love him. I know like in a slump right now, but I'd love him. And Kelly Oubre is another great option. Yeah. Tobias Harris, I'm not 100% against. There's a lot of great options. It's just about pulling the trigger. And like the thing with Leon Rose is he doesn't make trades, he loses. So he's not going to make a stupid trade just to get off Cam Reddish. And he's a restricted free agent, so.
It's funny that you said Kristaps because when I was picking what I was going to wear today, I had my Kristaps jersey in hand, and it was too cold, so I decided not to. But that was going to be my whole thing is like, right now, don't be a hater. I'll pull it up again, heck. But, like me personally, like a lot of those are good. I think bench scoring is very important if we're not going to, mess up the beginning rotation. We talked about Clarkson the other day for quite a while. But I think all of those are great. Kelly Oubre would really, I think, flourish in a blue and orange uniform as well. Because he's kind of loves the spotlight.
G-Money and DSJ, hang tight backstage. Don't leave, all right? We got more questions for you guys for the panel. Hold on, okay? Guys, we started talking. Oh, did he just bounce?
Oh, Trippy just left.
Oh, Trippy, what happened? We started talking trades, and that man jumped on the panel real quick. I thought Trippy was about to give.
Yeah, I was about to bring him up.
Oh, Trippy, what happened, bro? All right, we'll wait for Trippy to come back. You know, when we start talking trades, he had to jump on this conversation real quick.
Yeah.
So Phil, I mean, you were saying, but who's your target? Like, who's the dream scenario for you?
Yeah. So for me, there's a few that would work. Like me personally, like we talked about, I think Kuzma would be great, but I think that like with the fact that Thibodeau is really set with like who we currently have in our starting roster, I don't see, like Hector has said before, Kuzma coming off the bench. I think that would be very, very hard. So we definitely have to kind of switch the trajectory of where we've been going. And that would only make sense if they were trying to move Randall, that Kuzma would kind of come in, and I don't see that happening. So I personally would see somebody like a Jordan Clarkson coming in, and being sixth man of the year, buckets after buckets, someone that can really run the floor alongside Obi Toppin. Imagine them two running that second unit, like being able to have a fast-paced offense, Jordan Clarkson who can stop and shoot on the dime. Like that's something we don't really have on our second unit, is someone that can stop and shoot. Like everyone we kind of have is kind of a setup 3-point shooter when it comes to the second unit. But Jordan Clarkson can just stop. He can go off a pick and light any other team up. So I think having that kind of like shooting power alongside Obi, where Obi can then do what he does best, which is either be on the outside or penetrating in. I think those two would play really, really well together. Get Hartenstein the frick out of here. Let Sims be in there. Like that would be an athletic and fast-paced, which would kind of throw teams off because our first unit isn't really as fast-paced. It's a little bit of a slower, starting lineup to then make that second unit who isn't stars have to deal with a nonstop, energetic, athletic, and high shooting second unit. Could be really, really awesome to see. So Jordan Clarkson would probably be my choice.
That's my
Trippy. We're talking
Trippy. What it do, baby? You muted, my guy.
I'm here. I'm up.
We heard Trippy heard the trades, and he had to jump in the chat and jump on the panel. Trippy, what's your thoughts? First of all, Trippy, Charlotte, Trippy. Charlotte's from Let's Talk Knicks. So what's
we
your
know
thoughts?
each other.
Yeah.
You know the vibes. What up, y'all? What up, the panel? What up to everybody in the chat? I'm just glad that everybody's woken up and finally come to their senses. Like,
well, it looked like you just woke up with the cold. You just got out your eye, my guy.
You don't understand, because I've been waiting for everybody to come to reality. Everybody's been, we got the 8-game win streak. We don't need nobody. We don't need to trade. I'm like, bro, do you play ball or do you just watch it? Because I play ball, bro. You can't run an 8-9 man rotation for 82 games, bro. It's just not gonna work. You see it now. Players is crashing. They're dying. They're burning. Like Jalen Brunson is trying to be Iron Man and he's folding right now. My son looked like he getting pressed through a machine. Like it's over, bro. We have to make a move. We don't need a star piece. We don't need a top of the line guy. We just need a nice, tall, lengthy 3-and-D guy. Just come over here, play defense. You get me at least 10. Matter of fact, 8 to 10 points. If that, your defense got to be locked, sound, and on point. I'm at the point now where it's like, just call the Rockets back up. Let's make the most minimal trade we could do. Let's just go get Eric Gordon and call it a day. Because at the end of the day,
he got Charlotte shaking her head.
Getting no Kyle Kuzma because everybody, like, all the players y'all want, nobody wants, bro. Everybody wants to snap. Everybody's like, oh no, he's too much. He doesn't fit. He's too old. He's too this. So look,
you see, but Trippy, you got to give me credit where credit's due. I've made it clear. I am down to take a trade for the pretzel man at MSG. Okay, as long as there's somebody with legs that we can turn to, that we can make sure someone gets a rest. Okay, and you work at MSG, bro. So I'm sure you can find me the right baller over there, bro. We can hook up.
Not EG, bro. Not. I like Eric Gordon. I really loved him when I was younger, also. But he's not the defender that we need. He's not the 3-and-D player that we need.
No, truthfully though, The guys that we really do need, though, honestly, it has to be one of Kyle Kuzma or Jordan Clarkson. Like those are the two best options.
I can see Jordan Clarkson, right? Because right now with the situation with Kuzma is a phenomenal player. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but he's a starter with the Washington Wizards, right? This is the most points he's averaged per game in his career. These are the most minutes per game he averaged in his career. So I'm not sure on a contract year. This is his last year before he hits free agency. On a contract walk year, I'm not sure if he's ready to take that backup role and that bench role when he's averaging the most points he has averaged in his career and the most minutes he has averaged in his career. Now, Jordan Clarkson, he's someone that's used to coming off the bench. He's someone that's used to his role, that know his role. That's someone that I would like to have back up Jalen Brunson more than anything else. If we can use IQ in a trade to get that 3-and-D small forward for the bench to improve our team, then I'm all for it. But I would rather have Jordan Clarkson and Kuzma and Eric Gordon. I love you, my guy, but you're just not the player right now in this stage in his career.
Yeah, no, Eric Gordon, please, no. I'm begging, please, no.
I'm gonna get T-shirts made. No, Eric Gordon. G Money, you trying to trade for Eric Gordon?
I like Eric Gordon's decent, but not right now. Yes, he can shoot, and yes, he can penetrate. But he's older now. This is not. If it was Ellie Clipper, Aaron Gordon, oh yeah. But this version of Eric Gordon, who's aging, no.
He got Brendan Roy knees right now. Go ahead, Phil.
Right.
So to Foxy's point, I actually think that it's the opposite. You know, Clarkson is not on this team's timeline because he'll be 31. I think that is more of a reason to be able to have him as our second unit. Like, not, hey, you're not a good player, so that's why you're not starting, but we are going young, but we still need somebody who has your skill sets coming off the bench. Like, if we target somebody that is young, that is trying to find a starting spot somewhere, we have to screw up our whole starting lineup, which, you know, the front office and Tibbs are not going to do that right now. So we need to find someone who can be effective off the bench, because that does fit our timeline. That does fit what our organization seems to be doing. So I think that actually is in our favor. Someone that is good, that can light up from the bench. I don't see them messing with the starting lineup. I know some of us want the starting lineup to get shooken up, but we don't have that authority. We don't have that say. So if we're going to be realistic about what we think our front office would most likely do, it's going to be either we get a star for the starting lineup or we get a role player that makes our second unit better. And I think timeline-wise for this year, it's second unit.
I'll throw it over to Charlotte real quick. If you look at the starting lineup and the pieces that we have, we got three pieces that are locked in and ain't going nowhere. When it comes to Brunson, when it comes to RJ, and when it comes to Randall, those three aren't going nowhere. So when you look at the other two pieces with Quentin Grimes and Mitchell Robinson, those will be the pieces that you will upgrade. But who are you upgrading those positions with? Who are you getting to be a better version of Mitchell Robinson, to be a better center than Mitchell Robinson? Who are you getting that's going to be a better shooting guard than Quentin Grimes? Those are the positions we have to attack and address. Go ahead, Charlotte.
Our center position, we need someone that spreads the floor and can shoot outside the paint. Mitchell Robinson's great. He's a rim protector. He did not sign here to be this paint shooter that can everything. But I don't think that anyone that can shoot. I like Miles Turner. I don't really understand the hate on him. It's crazy. I don't understand on Knicks Twitter. People go at him. Trippy knows this, but why are we going at Miles Turner? He's good. He just signed with CAA. Just keep it in the back of your mind. Anyone that could space the floor, I'm fine with. Shooting guard, it gets a little more complicated because they are looking at someone like Zach LaVine to pull off at the trade deadline. I will not be surprised if they get that done, but not at the price that it is right now. We are not giving up 4 first-round picks. Chicago can go get that from someone else. It's not happening. Yeah. The most I'm giving to Chicago is I don't know, do you want 2 picks and Obi Toppin and Cam Reddish and maybe IQ because he has been in conversations. I understand that. I see someone in that Stephen Fox in the chat. Turner is injury prone. Would you be willing to
Robinson is injury pro. Mitchell
I don't
Robinson is
want this
injury
so
pro.
many
He's been
players.
injured
yeah. Would you be willing to lose IQ for Clarkson?
I would consider.
Yeah.
I would consider.
Yeah.
100%.
IQ is
100%.
100%. I would lose. Clarkson's amazing. He could slide right into our starting lineups, but you need to. But the thing with the Knicks, everyone needs to understand, they love Quentin Grimes. They kept him over Donovan Mitchell. He's going to be a starter, whether you like it or not. I got laughed off Twitter because I said that Quentin Grimes is going to be starting over Cam Reddish. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're crazy. He was going to start. I said during preseason, guys, he's going to start. IQ's value is not so the highest it's been, Chris. It's been actually higher than it's been lower than usual because IQ's been having nights like 1 of 12 or like 3 of 10. Like, he's not, the value's not right now where he's
inconsistent.
And if we were to get Turner and Chris Joseph, I was thinking the same thing you just said. If we were to get Turner and have a stretch 5 on the floor, when it comes to our offensive rebound, which has been probably our bread and butter this entire season, would definitely go down because I don't think Julius Randle has the interior presence to make up for the center being on the 3-point line trying to get that offensive rebound.
Yeah, and to those points, the thing about IQ is defensively he's been great. But you look at the league is not a defensively focused league anymore. So the fact that his offensive rating has been pretty horrible, that's what makes his trade value no longer important because it's not like the 90s NBA where they saw it the same, like both sides of the ball need to be, effective to make you worth a trade. Like they are very, like most teams are offensively, focused. So when you have a player like IQ that's not being productive offensively, his value is not going to be great because people are looking for firepower. They're looking for scoring. When it comes to Miles Turner is great. And if you look at past episodes, like I did want to explore the Turner thing. But the more and more you look at the fact that Randall's defense, we saw in one of those, I think, Chicago games that or the Indiana game that he could play defense, but 95% of the time he doesn't. So if you get someone like Turner who's not as great defensively as Mitchell is in the paint, you're looking at a free-for-all in the paint, like with scores. So I don't think Randall and Turner work well together, even though Turner's a great player. So I just don't see those two working well together. I think Mitch keeps us from being able to like not just get lit up on the outside, but on the inside as well. So I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of scenarios that we could guess, but I don't think we're getting Turner. Like I don't. Yeah, I think if we get someone that stretches the floor, Randall's defense has to step up in the paint. It has to.
So check this out real quick, guys. I know we got Charlotte till 12:20. We're coming up to that time span. G Money, appreciate you coming through, bro. We're going to keep the show going. Thank you for jumping on the panel. DSJ, my guy, salute. Always love your takes on stuff. Guys, I want to take a quick commercial break to our sponsor, Homage, real quick. When we get back, though, I want to switch from trade talks, and I want to talk about, should we all be a little scared on the fact that we have no idea what's going on with Jalen coming out of yesterday's injury? Let's jump on that when we get back. Check out the quick break. Commercial.
What it do, Knick Nation? What it do? KOD Universe, stand up, and all you Degens, wake up and get your coffee.
I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks. I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks. I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks. I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks.
Shout out to our sponsors. We love you guys. You make us look so good on screen. Look at this. All right, great. Charlotte, should we be freaking out that no report has come out yet today? It's already 12 o'clock in the afternoon, East Coast, and it's still undisclosed injury. What do we think?
I'm concerned. When you don't make Jalen Brunson available, first of all, that coffee looks amazing. I'll be getting myself coffee at 12:30. I think when a reporter reports that Jalen Brunson's not available for post-game conference, yeah, it's pretty concerning when you're starting point guard who probably is one of the most, if not the most important player on your team. Yeah, I'd be concerned. It is a right hip injury. A couple people are telling me that like it's a right hip, and someone was saying a shoulder. It's not a shoulder. It's a hip. Or someone was saying he was grabbing his hand. It actually is he was grabbing his hip. So you can see a couple plays. I got sent a couple. There's like videos going around. It's his hip. But yes, I would be concerned. I'm bracing myself for 2 weeks. I would say 2 weeks would be out.
When it comes to Jalen Brunson and that possibility of a hip injury, Jig and Phil, you both know that I've been dealing with hip injuries for this past like year and a half from being injured on the job. I have torn ligaments, torn labrums in both hips. So as somebody who deals with that, it's not a good feeling. Seeing the video, because I was just watching and while Charlotte was just talking, he immediately grabs his hip. And I know that pain and I know that feeling. And him trying to walk, listen, there's time I can hardly even sleep good at night because I'm always constantly turning because of my hip pain. So that's not a good look to have, especially from your point guard hip injuries like that.
It's no joke. Yeah. Hip injuries are something like one of the worst injuries you could probably have. Yeah. One of the most painful. I've never experienced, obviously, but pain is pretty bad. But I don't know. Now you could see Derrick Rose re-enter the rotation, which kind of scares me because he is so rusty. And when I went to the Garden for the Raptors game, yeah, he only shot 1 of 3, but he's just not running as fast. He just can't keep up. I do not want Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon is not a good substitution for Jalen Brunson.
I'm not going to lie. I saw it in the chat. I was like, I knew it. The minute I put it up, Charlotte was about to flip. I knew it. I was like, let me just.
Eric Gordon's not a point guard. We also have, I'd like to see Miles in the starting lineup, but it's probably they might shift Derrick Rose into the starting lineup. Still have IQ runs. I don't think IQ's ready to be a starter. There was a big debate last year. Is he ready to be a starter? He's not ready to be a starter. But
no. I think the scary thing is with the hip injury is one of the things that we've prided ourselves on in Jalen Brunson is like, oh, he's a warrior. He's a warrior. But I think that warrior mindset with Tibbs's like way of pretty much just trying to get players back in as soon as possible, drilling them into the ground. Like, I do not want to see him come back when he's anything less than 100%, because if he gets hurt again, like that doesn't just screw up the next 2 weeks. That screws up the rest of the season, and who knows how much further out. Like, this is something you don't want to play with. My mother-in-law, she like has always struggled with hip stuff, and she had to get a hip replacement, and she's never been the same since. Like that stuff is not something to play with, And so I'm just worried that like with as much pressure as we put on him to be that guy, that we're going to rush something that should not be rushed. Like this is something we have to take serious if it's a serious injury.
The scary thing is the Knicks could pull a trigger and be like, oh, we just lost Jalen Brunson for 2 months. Oh, now let me go get Zach LaVine.
Yeah,
like that's a really scary thing that they could just get. They could freak out.
Yep.
I'm not saying
and
this.
And make a trade just to panic.
Like, we just lost our starting point guard, who's probably an all-star. If he's not, then we should all riot. But that's a different story. We just lost our starting point guard. Our team now is going to be even worse without him. Don't be surprised if Zach LaVine's on this team if Jalen Brunson's out for more than a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was saying it last night in the conversations is that was the biggest thing that my dad and I were talking about was now we're going to be put in a position where LaVine ends up being a reality. And obviously that's the one we're getting the most reports on is LaVine, right? And obviously this panel here, we're not on the bring LaVine train at all. But again, we're at a point to me where it's like, we need bodies, guys. And if we keep having people fall off, I'm worried. I'm worried big time.
I've never seen The Office go to it. First of all, they were courtside in Chicago all together. I've never seen them at the Garden all together sitting in a row. They don't do that. It's usually just Leon sitting alone. Trippy, I can't with him.
No, I can't.
I literally can't with him. I think that I've never seen The Office sitting in a line in the Garden watching. They've only been for the Bulls games. We've played the Bulls now 3 times in the last, I want to say 3 weeks or something. We had a back-to-back with them on Wednesday, Friday, and then we had them in the Garden again. But I don't know. I think that I don't want Zach LaVine for the price. The price is just I'm not giving up. Yeah. If The Office gives up 4 first-round picks, then maybe I could be with the other side of Twitter and be like, yeah, that's probably not the best thing we should be doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to ask you a question because I know we're getting about around that time when Charlotte got a dip. But Charlotte, I've been creepily looking at your background. Can you let the people know the trophies back there? Where are they from? Were you an athlete in a prior life? Like what's the trophies and accolades that you got back there?
So I played basketball. Most people don't know this about me, but I played basketball my entire life.
Nice.
I was offered to play at Penn State, and I just did not because I wanted a regular college experience. But yeah, I've played basketball since I was in 5th grade. Loved the sport ever since. That started my love for basketball. And yeah, I'm a huge Knicks fan because of how much I play basketball. And like when people are like, you don't know basketball, I was like, I've played basketball my entire life. I know I might be playing with the girls, but it's the same rules, same things. Like I've run a 1-3-1 zone that Thibodeau does every damn game, the drop coverage. Like I know exactly what he's running. I don't know. Yeah, I played basketball my entire life.
Yeah,
awesome. Charlotte, I really appreciate you making time to hang out. I know we've been trying to connect and make this happen. I'm glad we forced you to have to dox yourself and have your own face now out everywhere.
I feel so bad because I owe Trippy a show. I don't know if he's still here, but I owe Trippy a show. I think I might be going on some other show tomorrow.
Save your visit for Trippy's trade episode. He definitely wants everybody on his special edition trade episode.
Yes, to talk about Eric.
I owe Trippy an episode. It's been like since summertime. He's probably laughing right now, but it's been since summertime. We're trying to figure something out. But
awesome. Yeah. Well, Charlotte, thank you so much. You know,
thank you guys.
Guys in the chat, 100%. Everybody that's here, you guys all know. Let's talk Knicks. Post games, Twitter Spaces. Charlotte, the door's always open. Anytime you want to come on here, vent, hang out, whatever.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. Definitely. Yeah.
Open door policy whenever you want to come on. And let them know that you've been playing basketball longer than they've been playing their 2K My Careers. Just let them know that.
That was good. Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, I'd love to come back if you guys would have me, but thank you to everyone in the chat and people who've talked. But yeah, we have post games every single game, live tweets every single game. Halftime is by me and post game, and we have live tweets at Let's Talk Knicks at Let's Talk _ because the original username guys will not give it to me. Right. But yeah, thank you guys for joining and having me.
Of course. Today. Awesome. Thank you.
Bye guys.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Yep. Thanks.
Blessing.
Good content creators out there, man. I'm telling you.
Awesome.
You know, and people sleeping on Let's Talk Knicks. Oh, it's a girl. Mm-hmm. Really? The girl knows what the hell she's talking about. And she be dropping some facts. Right? What I love too is she drops comments in her Twitter spaces that pisses off other people's, and then everybody starts doing their thing. It's great. I love it. Guys, this Wednesday, talking about bringing people on the show, we got Big Mo. We got Big Papa Left. We got the Knicks Lounge in the building with us this Wednesday on the panel. We're gonna talk Knicks. You know, it might get a little toxic. We're just gonna talk about it, right?
And that's what I love is we don't choose sides. Like even in the crazy world of Twitter, like we value everybody's opinion. So even sometimes we might have people that from week to week have completely disliked one another and had completely different, views and opinions, but we're going to get the best out of them on this show, share respectfully, and just kind of keep building with all the content creators, whether we agree 100% or not, we value them as people. So I love that about the show.
Yeah. And, we believe we'll probably have some big news for everybody on Friday. Hang tight. But man, we're looking forward to it. Big Mo, Papa Left Knicks Lounge this Wednesday. Shout out to Charlotte. Let's Talk Knicks for hanging out with us today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys' love and support. Share, tweet, retweet, subscribe, all that good stuff. Guys, I'm worried. And
I'm worried too.
I'm gonna be worried till we get some sort of report on Brunson. But
It wasn't looking good. Seeing him hobble up the court like that. We understand Brunson's a warrior, but sometimes there's just some hits that warriors don't bounce back from. That's a bar right there. Use that in a rhyme, Phil, if you want to. Go ahead.
One thing that's really disappointing is that our next game, which is tomorrow, was the game we were hoping to see that bounce back game from Brunson and our team, because that's what started the 8-game winning streak, was after we got spanked by the Mavericks. And now tomorrow we're going in and playing the Mavericks without Jalen Brunson, most likely. So that's going to be a very, very hard pill to swallow tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to come talk about it on Wednesday. So, appreciate everybody in the chat. G Money, appreciate you jumping on the panel. DSJ, Trippy, you got on the panel to talk trades. I know you were happy. I loved it. The best part, guys, he froze for a second there. Did you see how
excited he got. He got.
Right, but he had the thinker face on. I'm Trippy, with your permission, I'm going to clip that pose. And every mention of trades on social, I'm just putting Trippy.
Put that meme up there. It's a meme now. Trippy, you are forever a meme in the Knicks universe, my brother.
Oh man,
guys, I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody, and we run this thing again back on Wednesday. I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to go jump in the KCDA Twitter Spaces, yo. I gotta see what.
Do you think? You know, my anxiety, I can't handle that. I can't handle that. My anxiety can't handle that.
Hit the outro.
3 capital S's, 3 to the dome for your boys. Hit that like button, and also hit that subscribe button, because if you aren't subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Okay, we're out of here. Peace.